Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, we had a great night last night because I know the market's actually doing pretty well as of right now. So, looking at the market overall, that SPY is really running up there, getting close to $400 a share, guys. That is a huge level on the SPY. Obviously, $400 is pretty high, but we're getting back up into some of those previous levels that we were at. Obviously, more of like I would say March. Obviously, we're starting to pop back up just a little bit on the SPY. You can see, we're moving back up a little bit. I guess I could say more back up into May levels, but yeah, we are. You can see this daily chart is actually looking pretty good here on the SPY lately. We have 3 solid green days in a row, pretty much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pretty much almost like 8 green days in a row. That one red day there, obviously, was a bit of an outlier. We continued up right after that, but nonetheless, it even actually went higher that day and then just closed low, which was unfortunate. But nonetheless, though, it's been on a really good uptrend. You can see we're starting to fill that gap on the daily chart. We're getting back up to around $400. So amazing movement out of the SPY. I'll take it, and I hope that you guys have been pretty happy, and I hope you guys are taking advantage of this type of market because whenever you see stocks have little uptrends like this, you can catch some pretty good moves on a lot of different sectors, companies, and different things like that. You can see AMD has had a very similar move to the SPY, pretty much straight up off of like $75. With the popularity of AMD, that should have definitely been something on the radar. We can see Nvidia here is actually right up on resistance. I threw a nice little like resistance level here on the chart. You can see we ran right up into that, and now we're starting to consolidate a little bit right here on Nvidia. So be aware of this. I know that we had the CHIPS Act have some news come out earlier in the week, and hopefully Congress can get that passed here pretty soon and help out some of these chip stocks. But yeah, happy Friday. I'm Fierce. Good morning. Bill, Vicky, Jamie, Iranical, Keisha. As always, I appreciate you guys. And of course, also as always, let me know what stocks you guys are watching this morning. Definitely let me know what you're seeing running with momentum because it's pretty hard. There's not really anything necessarily like exploding today. I did see the like AXP was up quite a bit in pre-market trading today. They're up to 159.30 there. Pretty much besides AXP, I'm not really seeing anything too crazy running to the upside here. Let's see. On my watch list, yeah, the highest thing running today pretty much is Tesla. They're only up 1.25% though, which is a little bit unfortunate to see with that. And then I go look at SOXS, which is a semiconductor bear ETF. You can see that's actually starting to pop back up a little bit more today as we're seeing AMD, Nvidia, and those other stocks consolidate. Hopefully we continue to see these stocks honestly fall back down here. I hope that we see a little bit of a pullback. Nvidia looks like it's hitting a nice upper resistance. Same thing with AMD. I was really thinking today it looks like they could pull back, and I'm hoping AMD can maybe fall under like 89.75, which is that low of after hours yesterday. If we fall below that, I think we could have a pretty good push down to maybe like 88.40 or something like that. But nonetheless, this has been a pretty crazy move either way, and it's pretty awesome to see that AMD has been holding in this range right here. But let's go see some of these airlines are also up in the green today, like Delta, American, stocks like that, like CCL. The cruise lines are going up a little bit. You can see CCL got destroyed earlier in the week though, so yeah, not too good on them. Hopefully they can come back a little bit, but let's see. Excuse me, guys, but going down my watch list, though, obviously Snapchat yesterday was the talk of the market, and they're still going down. They're down another, today? They're down 35% overall, to say that. But, yeah, I mean, that's a big drop here still at market open. That's another big move down. Their average moves are obviously pretty high. I mean, the average percent rise is 3.5%. The average percent fall is 4%, but 34%. I mean, wow, guys, that is insane on Snapchat. To even look at this chart here and to see it down this much is pretty insane. Let's look at that daily. Yeah, that daily is brutal. That is brutal on this stock. Wow. I cannot believe that you're seeing another gap. They've had huge gap after huge gap after huge gap here on their chart. That is just scary. Remember, actually, not last earnings, but a couple earnings ago, Snapchat reported, and you can see here that like they dipped down on the chart. There's like a big gap right here where my cursor is. They dipped down back in February. It was February 3rd. They gapped down and then they came right back up the very next day and recovered all the way back and then actually went even higher. So just interesting to see that. I'm not saying that that's going to happen here, of course, but just be aware because that did happen that one day and it probably played a pretty big difference. But Snapchat going down really hurt Meta. It hurt a lot of other companies, and yeah, it's obviously not what you want to see at all. Meta has been getting hurt from all these social media stocks. I mean, obviously Snapchat was bad, but there's even others out there that have been pretty brutal. But yeah, it sucks to see that all those tech stocks are going down now off of that news. So that's not good. Here's Asana. ASAN down to like 1916 today. You can see it's definitely pulling back a little bit. Let's see what's on my watch list here today that's really moving, because I'm really looking for some pretty good breakouts, but today we're not really seeing any good breaks. Actually, I found one. CrowdStrike is actually looking pretty hot. They're slowly climbing up my watch list here, and it's looking pretty good. So they're getting right up into a big area of resistance right around 192 to 194. There's been multiple bounces right there on multiple different levels, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that is a crazy move there with CrowdStrike. That's actually moving up today in a good way, where a lot of stocks are not getting this type of good price action here at market open. Let's go look at Chewy maybe, because that's another one that's been kind of flying up again. And yeah, Chewy's doing well again, up above $45. And let's look at Chewy on like a 1 hour chart here lately, because yeah, oh, there we go. So you can see Chewy is really breaking some key resistances like right now. They just broke above 45.50 and they're starting to finally like run up a little bit more. I would definitely throw Chewy on that watch list, guys. I mean, this thing is looking pretty hot today. Yeah, pretty hot. Let's look at it on that 15-minute. Yeah. Wow, that is a pretty good setup. That's awesome, though, guys. That's a really good break with Chewy. I hope that we continue to move up here with some nice momentum, and I feel like we definitely can with Chewy. It's been Chewy's been a stock that's really ran up over the past few weeks quite a bit. I feel like there's a pretty good chance that we could end up popping here and having a decent move up. So throw it on the radar. I really believe that this one is one that we should be eyeing up today for sure. But don't forget to smash that like button, guys. I really appreciate it, of course. And of course, that'll kind of get the stream going a little bit. But if you guys are looking at any stocks or any specific setups or anything, just let me know. Also, if you want to know anything about, like, let's say, gold or inflation or anything like that, we can always talk about something, some topics like that a little bit as well. So just keep that in mind too. But yeah, going into some of these stocks, I mean, my watch list is just still fairly unchanged. Tesla is still coming up, which is awesome. They're up to 834, continuing up off of that amazing momentum from yesterday. And I think this is great for Tesla. I'm glad to see them finally breaking out again. And yeah, it's having a really nice move. So we're having like a little multi-day continuation to the upside here, and it's looking fantastic. So yeah, amazing setups with Tesla. You guys can see that big wedge on the daily chart here was pretty big. You can see how we touched that multiple times, and on that third or fourth touch right there, you can see there was just multiple doji candles there. You call them dojis because they kind of close in the middle of their candle there. So you can see it made like you can see there's two big wicks on the side, then like a small area in the middle. That's pretty much like a doji or like a cross, you could say, or whatever you want to call it, but they call it that like a Doge pattern. And like looking at it, you can really tell how it broke out of that wedge there. And as soon as we broke out of that wedge with Tesla on earnings, it just straight up exploded. Like we stayed up above the wedge and we just continued to do very, very well. So amazing movement with Tesla. That's actually very reassuring to me, looking at a lot of stocks in the market. I'm also eyeing up like Ford and a few other of these EV companies here. I know Ford isn't necessarily an EV company, but I'm definitely going to be eyeing them up. They're going to be posting revenue on July 27th. I feel like Ford is going to be a very interesting stock. They've been having a lot of news come out lately about their EVs and a lot of different things. So I definitely be on the lookout for that coming up next week. It looks like that'll be on, those earnings will be on, let's see, Wednesday. So yeah, Ford will be reporting Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. But pretty cool to see Ford moving up like this. Same thing with General Motors. Both are kind of moving up off that lower support that honestly they were getting killed at for a while. So good to see them coming up now. That's always good. Hey, good morning, Sal. Thanks for joining up. Jay Deep says eyeing Meta to the downside since Snap broke down. Let's see. I honestly wouldn't be too surprised if that happened. Let's see. Meta. Yeah, Jay Deep said grabbed a couple puts, sold it for 40% profit. So there you go. Amazing play. Glad you killed it on Meta, Jay Deep. But yeah, honestly, Meta's been moving down pretty good ever since those Snap earnings last night. Obviously, it probably won't go down as much as Snap did, but definitely be on the lookout. The main thing is like Meta is going to be reporting next Wednesday as well. So definitely be worried for that, Jay Deep. You know, put that on the radar, put that in the back of your mind, whatever you want to call it. But nonetheless, obviously, that's going to be a pretty big event for Meta. Now, I will say, guys, if you guys are into some of these more technical setups here, Meta is actually on approaching a pretty big area of support. So you can see I kind of just drew like a little blue line here on my Meta chart right below the other support line, or the other resistance, I guess you could say. So you can see I drew a good support here. The main reason I drew this right here, guys, is if Meta forms an inverse head and shoulders pattern, I just want you to know that it will hold here on this wick if it does form that pattern. Now, I'm not saying that that pattern is necessarily forming or that that's going to happen, but there is a chance for it. So we see like right here, I'll draw some circles. Right where this blue circle is here on the left, that's a bit of an area where you could call that like a nice shoulder or like a neckline, for example, a really good neckline. And then if we end up holding that right here somewhere, then we'll call that a second neckline. And then hopefully we can just hold that neckline and start to move up. So that neckline right there on Meta at 170 might be a pretty good area to buy at if you're looking for this setup to play out. Now, obviously, like you said, JD, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with these social media companies, and it's not good. So that's not what you want to see. Now, I will say Twitter is actually popping up a little bit after their earnings, which is interesting. I'll be honest, I haven't looked into their earnings too much today, but it is pretty cool to see them popping up with earnings. So, I don't know. Meta's a tough one, though, J-Deep. I mean, I feel like playing it to the downside can be good, but at the same time, I'm looking at that inverse head and shoulders setup on the daily chart, and if that ends up holding, then I'll definitely be looking to buy this to the upside. So it just depends on how we hold at that 170 support for me. But hey, I'm glad you're winning on it, J-Deep, and that's a really good trade, actually. You know, I like seeing good plays like that on stocks like Meta and just stocks in general. So glad to see that you hit that nice 40% there. Honestly, Meta was almost right on a big resistance too. So you could have also saw that and maybe played it down with that, but obviously earnings dictated that move. And if who knows, if Snapchat would have gapped up 30%, maybe Facebook would be up, 5 or 10% rather than, falling down like it is. But yeah, let me know what stocks you guys are seeing today still, of course. I'm definitely interested in that. And, we've had some pretty big events over the past couple weeks. Now, next week, guys, is going to be very, very important. We're going to have the FOMC meeting coming out next week and the interest rate decision. So be on the lookout for that. And then we're also going to have some of the biggest earnings of the market coming out next week, too. So it's going to be a crazy one. Definitely definitely be on the lookout and be a little bit worried for that overall market. So let's go look the CNBC right here, see what we can find about some of these earnings here this morning. Let's see. Twitter misses earnings expectations, partially blames revenue drop on Elon Musk takeover bid. That's funny. They missed analyst estimates on earnings, revenue, and user growth. they they blame the miss due to uncertainty tied to Elon Musk takeover. That's interesting. Hey, good morning, SM. SM says they sold their Tesla call for 20 and it's at 40 now. Your Tesla call, yeah, I mean, Tesla's definitely moving up today in a big way. I don't know where you exactly sold out at, but I will say that was a pretty good move on Tesla. So cool to see that you were trading it. Hopefully you did good on those calls, even if you missed out on a little bit of gains. I will say if you had a shorter term expiration, holding that overnight was probably not the smartest thing to do, but nonetheless, Tesla's been on a really nice uptrend, and we started really breaking out above that wedge, and ever since we broke out of this wedge, SM, it's been really popping. So there's a lot of momentum on Tesla right now. I feel like it can do pretty well. I think yesterday I even said maybe it could do well, but yeah, either way though, it had a really good day. Yesterday it popped up almost all day long, a lot higher than I honestly thought that it could get. So it was cool to see that it ran up that much. And again, today it's cool to see that it broke out above 820. That's a really nice move there today. So kudos to Tesla. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. I know a lot of people love trading Tesla, but lately I've actually seen a lot of negative stuff with Tesla and Elon Musk. So hopefully people are still liking him. Here goes Chewy though, up above 45.50. We finally got that good breakout today, right at market open, all the way up to 47.13 now on Chewy, guys. I mean, this is an amazing pop here, amazing breakout. Look at that daily chart of Chewy. It consolidated up there at the top a little bit and just is still exploding up. And this is the exact type of setup that you want to see. It's such a good bullish setup here, especially like you can see how it started really breaking those key resistances. So yeah, amazing movement with Chewy. Definitely throw this one on the watch list. This stock has been especially good over the past few weeks for some reason. Like I feel like it's been outperforming a few other stocks, but either way, it's having an amazing move. It's always cool to see those big breakouts, especially when you have like big levels posted like we did at like 45.50. That's just that's awesome. But let's go back to, let's see what's moving on the watch list today again. Chewy's really leading the way now, up 4.5%. I'm noticing Run and Plug Power also popping up a little bit. So RUN and Plug are moving. Some of those clean energy plays. I will say the clean energy plays are not necessarily my favorite plays, but they are doing well. Now, when I say clean energy is not my favorite, all I mean is that, obviously clean energy as in like new growth companies like Plug, like Lucid, Rivian, stuff like that. I feel like that stuff is just pretty risky. I still feel like some of those will do very, very well, and you can make some really good gains on them. It's just, I think that they just come with a little bit of risk. Obviously, they have some pretty good volatility, and they always seem to be moving around quite a bit. Let's go back to the 5-minute chart, though, and go over to Netflix, because Netflix is another one moving up today. This is actually having a pretty good pop. Then there was a nice double top going on right around 224. So yeah, that's cool to see there with Netflix. It's really having a good break up above that little area of resistance I posted. That's a nice run actually, guys, up above 224. Definitely keep that on the radar. Yeah, it's a good one. I'm not sure how high Netflix can go. Like looking at that daily chart though, it has a long way to go, guys. So if you're bullish on Netflix, it might end up filling this gap here soon. And honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if it did kind of fill the gap. I mean, it needs to. It's had some crazy movement. I cannot believe that Netflix had highs of 700 and they fell all the way down to lows of 164. That is just such a big drop. It's well over 50%, obviously, and yeah, it's just that was brutal. Cannot believe that other gap down they had. Like this gap, whenever they were consolidating around like 325, and then when they fell from 325 all the way down to like 250 in one day on that earnings report, that was brutal. That was seriously brutal. And that last earnings too. I mean, a lot of companies lately have had these similar gap downs on the daily chart. Raymond posted 2 bulls. Yeah, there we go, Raymond. Coming in with the bulls today. That SPY's doing pretty well. We can see it's holding up on the 5-minute. So yeah, it's not doing bad at all. Having a pretty good little breakout today. SM says, hi Tom, would you go long with Apple now? You know, Apple is breaking out here today, SM. I would say I'd rather go long than short. That's for sure. You know, it's breaking out today. Let's check out that daily chart. Ooh, I will say though, looking at the daily SM, yeah, I honestly would be careful now that I see the daily. I don't think I would look at this one too hard today with Apple. We are on a big resistance. You can see right here, guys, this is an area with the blue line right at like 157 is a huge area. We touched that multiple times over the past year or so, and it's just been having a lot of bounces right there. So I don't know. I'd be aware of this resistance, SM fan. So personally, I mean, long the Apple's probably good right here. Just keep in mind, I wouldn't trade it up too much. You know, only go up to 157 or something like that. And honestly, with the way that we moved today up to around 156.30, we're getting pretty close. So yeah, I would be careful with that one, SM. I would personally not long this today, but I am leaning to the upside over the downside. It's just, I don't like this setup today necessarily with Apple. It just kind of looks like a setup to me that's going to go more flat than anything. I will say, though, it's not Apple's fault. It's just, obviously, stocks, they're not always running up in the way we hope they are. You know, now Chewy, for example, has had like a lot of good momentum. They broke out. That one is in a little bit better of a setup in my eyes. Maybe like UAL. Let's see. Yeah, not Boeing. Let's see, Oxy. Boeing might be a good play to the downside, guys. BA. If you're looking for like a momentum play, honestly, this one is about to break down below like the 160 support. And it looks like it's about to like fly down here. So be on the lookout for this one. I'm actually going to zoom in on this and I'm going to watch it for a second because that's a pretty brutal sell-off there. I cannot believe that some of these stocks are just moving so crazy this morning. All right. SM says, what about ISRG? Let's see. I've never looked at that. Is that Ingersoll Rand, ISRG? Oh, Intuitive Surgical. You know they just had earnings, right? I don't know. I don't know about this one. This one is, I don't know, SM. This one's crazy. I'm honestly not too familiar with this company. It looks like they had a 3-for-1 split a while ago, and ever since that split, they've just been falling down, which is interesting. They look like they're at a pretty good discount. Intuitive Surgical. Yeah, I've never heard of this one. I feel like I've heard of the ticker, but I've never like looked into how their stock does really. Looking at like the 5-minute chart though. Yeah, I don't really like that move, especially post earnings, SM. I feel like that one's super risky. Like that's just such a risky move here. Like we could easily go either way here again, and I just don't know. I feel like to the downside might be the way, but then again, it's recovering up a little bit, so I don't know. That's a very tough one. Yeah, I would say stay away from this one though in my eyes. Like I said, I'm really eyeing up like puts on Boeing if it breaks below the low of day, or maybe eyeing up like something like Roku to the downside, maybe something like that. You know, I feel like a lot of these stocks they have like a lot of like lackluster movement going on this morning, for sure. Like there's not any true like breakouts or anything like that going on yet. Only on a couple stocks, that is. Like SOXS, which is just a bearish ETF. So the more AMD, Nvidia, Intel, and all those stocks fall, the more that this SOXS stock should go up. And honestly, I feel like today that we're gonna see these stocks go down. So like AMD is already moving, guys. Like AMD was my free day trade this morning, and it's already killing it. Like we're already breaking below support, and it's already running down in a huge way. So that's actually awesome with AMD. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. Yeah, that's a really good drop though. Right below key support. That's a pretty good move. Glad to see that. Hmm. I wonder how low AMD could really get today. I'm thinking it could go down quite a bit. I'm not saying it's gonna like die, but I think we could get down like 88 easily or something like that. It seems like that could be a pretty safe move to me. Let's go back and check in on Chewy, CHWI. Yeah, still kind of just coming back down now a little bit, calming down. J Deep says Meta 170 put options again dropped to 19 and now back up 38. Insane volatility. Yeah, Meta has been really insane, J Deep. Obviously, they've been having all that volatility with Snapchat and all these other social media stocks reporting lackluster numbers. Obviously, that ad revenue was huge. Hey, Mash, what's up? He says, what's up, stud? Lot of day left, Tom. Yeah, definitely lots of day left here. Gotta still find those big breakouts. You know, I'm not really liking the market movement too much today, Mash. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really seeing any setups that are necessarily, catching my eye too much. Like a lot of these things are like they started moving up a little bit today. Now they're all consolidating. I feel like Tesla could have a pretty good move though. You know, that's actually sitting up right around like resistance. It's actually not the worst move, but yeah, just a lot of stocks just aren't moving in the way I was hoping for today. We see Chewy's also like popping up just a little bit, but you know, again, it's not really like breaking out that much, just kind of consolidating. The main thing I'm looking at today is kind of some moves to the downside. Like I'm eyeing up Boeing here. They're on a key support, like right around 159.90, honestly. Yeah, I'm hoping that Boeing could start to break down for real. I'm gonna throw a little support there on the chart. Yeah, I feel like if we start to break below this with Boeing, we could have some pretty good momentum start to come in. I'll definitely eye up this one, that's for sure. And can't forget about those other chip stocks down, like AMD and Nvidia, stocks like that. Still crazy. Yeah, Mash says, yeah, I hope it isn't a sideways day. Boring. Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? Kind of crazy the way these stocks have been moving. Talking about MASH though, let's go check out those bank stocks, of course. Let's see how they're doing today. Hey, they actually did okay at open, but yeah, now the past 5 minutes has been a little rough. Let's see JP Morgan, good old JP. Yeah, that one kind of double topped this week around 116. Had that big move up earlier in the week, and yeah, kind of consolidated a little bit there now, but still, the banks are holding up okay though. I'll take that movement, honestly. Better than what we're seeing like with AMD and those other stocks, that's for sure. Oh, that's so tempting to buy these down here, Mash. That's so tempting. They're at such good levels, I feel like. Yeah, Sean says was just sizing up SOXS. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good play right here. Yeah, Mash says the market's pulling the banks down. Yeah, it kind of looks like it there. That's too bad because they were running up at open, but yeah, now they're kind of following the SPY, following some of those tech stocks down. Hate to see that. I got a play going on Penn Gaming. I feel that one's starting to pull back down a little bit here as well, so never want to see those pullbacks. But yeah, Sean's eyeing up SOXS. That's pretty good, actually. I was kind of eyeing up this one all morning as well. Mash says DCA in man. Let's see. DCA. DCA. I haven't looked at this one in forever. SM says, can you preview next week when you have a moment? Earnings and economic events. 100% SM. I'll do that for us. For sure. Let me get up the economic calendar and everything like that here in the background. But yeah, I'll get them up for you for sure. Let me see if I can get a nice. I'll have to see if I can get the nice monthly earnings report. Let's see if I can get one. Got to go to Earnings Whispers and try to find their. They have like a monthly chart they put out sometimes, and that can be good. Hopefully this is it. Nope. Just give me 1 second. I'll get that up for you here. Here we go. Got it. All right, here we go, SM. Boom, there's the calendar. And boom, here is the earnings. I'll go over them in just a second. I wanted to see DCA really quick because Mash had asked or said something about it. Is this what you mean, Mash? DCA? I've actually never seen DCA before. Obviously, I'm not into these types of stocks too much, but I don't know what DCA has to offer for us, Mash. Is that what kind of stock is that? Let's see. Oh, dollar cost average. I was sitting here looking at DCA. I was like, man, what is this? It kind of looked like it was following the banks, Mash. So I was kind of like, in my head, I was like, does this follow banks or something? But yeah, I see what you mean. Dollar cost average in a JP Morgan. And yeah, a lot of those banks. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, definitely dollar cost average here. That's probably the smart way to go. Sell some puts and yeah, maybe sell like a 112 put, sell a 105 put, maybe sell some puts there. Yeah, that's funny. DCA. That makes total sense now because I was like, man, like what? But yeah, that's funny. Definitely. But yeah, getting back to SM's question, they're saying, can you preview next week when you have a moment, earnings and economic events? So yeah, let's see those economic events here. We are going to have some pretty big ones. So next week, we have a lot of things going on. On Tuesday, it looks like we have new home sales. Okay, I don't think that's going to be too big. Obviously, that's going to give some insight into the housing market, but I don't think that's going to be, the deal breaker for the market here next week. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have the durable goods. But on Wednesday, we're also going to have the FOMC interest rate decision and then the press conference with Powell following that. So be on the lookout at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday next week. That is going to be huge. Then 2:30 Eastern, obviously, Powell speaks, but the market always usually starts moving right around 2 p.m. Eastern. So that is going to be a pretty insane event next week. Be on the lookout for that. And then Thursday, we have GDP growth. Now, this is very important, guys. If GDP growth is negative again, I think that would mean that we are technically in a recession. So be on the lookout for that on Thursday next week. It could be a huge headline if we are in a recession. A lot of banks and different industries like that have been forecasting that this might happen. Some forecast it will, some forecast it won't. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of mixed signals here. You can see they're forecasting 0.8% on the GDP growth rate. Hopefully that's the case. If it comes in negative again, it won't be looking good. And I hope that it comes in positive, and I think we have a good chance for it too. But then Friday is actually pretty big as well next week. So we have personal spending and then personal income. And that's going to be very, very important as well, because that's going to give an insight into how consumers are spending. Obviously, if people are saving money and everything like that, it's going to be very important for those numbers. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, it's going to be big next week, SM fan. Hopefully I answered your question with the calendar here. As far as earnings go, we can see here on the chart, next week is going to be the biggest week by far for earnings. So here we go. We're looking at it. You can see the 25th is the start of next week, July 25th, 2022. Obviously, Monday isn't going to be too big. There's nothing crazy there. But Tuesday is where we start to really kick things off. So we're going to have Microsoft, Google, Coca-Cola, General Motors, Enphase, Visa, UPS, General Electric. Like, guys, that is so many companies. I cannot believe that Tuesday alone is going to be insane, let alone a Wednesday with Meta, Ford, Shopify, Qualcomm, Boeing, Teladoc, and then and then get it Thursday, Apple, Amazon, Roku, Intel, Pfizer, Altria. Going over here on the chart a little bit. On Friday, you got like 3 oil companies: AbbVie, Colgate, Procter and Gamble. I mean, next week is going to be insane, guys. And then obviously, even the week after that's going to be insane. You'll have AMD, Activision, Moderna, AMC, Square, DraftKings. I mean, this is going to be an insane earnings season, guys. So be on the lookout. Next week on Tuesday, though, is going to be insane with Microsoft and Google. And then the very next day, Meta, and then Apple. So, yeah, it's going to be an insane week next week, SM. So be on the lookout for these stocks. And be careful trading them, too. Heading up into these events, they might get volatile. As we know, sometimes they can have some pretty insane moves. But that's funny. Yeah, Mash, that was funny. He says, look at FFIE. Beat up, man. Let's see, FFIE. Faraday Future Intelligent Electric Inc. I've never heard of this one, Mash, but interesting movement today. I can't believe it fell off the table as much as it did from $8. Wow, all the way down to lows of 2. Like, what happened here? Wow, that's an insane move. I'm gonna look these guys up on the news. Let's see, FFIE. Oh, is this a cannabis stock? Huh. Wow, this thing's had some halts today. Yeah, it says shares off the lows, down 30% after resumption of trade. Did they like have a halt or something this morning? That's pretty insane if they did, but yeah, you're right, Mash. This thing is dying off. That daily chart is just brutal. I don't even know what to think about this one. Seems like a penny stock kind of now. It's at $2. When's their earnings? September? Yeah, I don't know. This one's tough for me, Mash. Do you know something about this company that I don't or something? I've never seen this one before, but hey, it looks pretty interesting actually, to say the least. Pretty crazy to see how it's been falling off like that, but yeah, that's a brutal drop. Hopefully it starts to pop back up soon, at least just with some type of good momentum, because that is a big drop. You would think that it would start to at least pop up a little bit, like maybe from 230 maybe up to 3 or something like that. Vicky's asking for Amazon levels, support and resistance, please. No problem, Vicky. Let's see. AMZN. We're actually sitting like right on resistance on Amazon, in my opinion. We're starting to move. Let's see. I'm going to move it up a little bit to right there. Right there. Perfect. That touches all those levels perfectly right there. So, but yeah, in my opinion, I think Amazon's right on resistance, right around like 125. I think that's a pretty big level, and I have a feeling Amazon might hit that and go down in the short term. I'm really hoping Amazon can keep flying up with some good momentum here, but seriously though, it looks like it's starting to slow down a lot. It's having some nice Doge candles up there around the top, and it's I feel like it might start to pull back down a little bit today. Now, that doesn't mean that it won't break out next week or that it can't break out, but I'm just saying, be a little careful. We are at resistance, and the past 2 weeks have been pretty good movement for Amazon. So if we did pop down a little bit, I wouldn't be too surprised, is all I'm really trying to say. But yeah, I appreciate you guys liking the stream. We're at 14 likes, and yeah, I appreciate it. If you guys haven't liked it yet, consider liking it up. But so far, for this Friday has been fairly decent. I mean, some stocks are up, some stocks are down, but we've been finding some decent movement. Like the overall market's been pretty boring, but we've been seeing SOXS move a little bit. That thing's been running up as some of these chip stocks break down. The AMD free day trade in the Discord is on fire. We just got all the way almost down to $88, which, like I said at the beginning of the stream, was right around my target today. So pretty cool to see that we ran down like that. Yeah, that's actually awesome. But yeah, that free day trade's on fire today. Let's see what Mike's day trade was. Mike had DraftKings today to the upside, up above 1461. Unfortunately, though, DraftKings fell back down a little bit, which is a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, they double topped up there right around 1460, which is insane. Cornish, that's funny. If you can hear me, Cornish, that post in Discord has me laughing right now, but that's funny. All right, let's go back to those Amazon levels. I feel like I only gave a couple, but yeah, Amazon is really moving down today, Vicky. Pretty crazy to see how it ran down towards that nice support. So that upper resistance though, right around, like I said, like 125.50, which is right around that high of day today, is definitely going to be big to watch. So watch out for that, Vicky. That's a big move there on Amazon, if it can break out, that is. Now, definitely watch it to the downside, too. Big support on Amazon right around 123.50. So I would use those two levels as resistance and support today. Use 125.50 and then 123.50, Vicky. So hope that answers your question. I know I got off on a bit of a tangent there for a second after seeing Amazon, but wanted to come back to it and make sure you got those levels you asked for. Keisha is saying ONEM got a pop because of the Amazon news. Let's see, ONEM, Life Healthcare. Oh, nice. I heard about this the other day. Yeah, that's cool to see. Yeah, they are popping up. Let's see the daily chart. It had a big gap. Big gap up to back to 17. They were at around $10. That's a pretty insane move, Keisha. I'm not going to lie. Anytime you get some news with Amazon, though, especially a company like this, I mean, hey, it's about the best news you could have happen. Besides news with Apple. That would be the only thing better, honestly. But just about better, I should say. But Mash is saying he's in a $4 call on FFIE. He says, so probably done. RIP, LOL. Yeah, let's see, FFIP. Let's go back. Oh, did I spell it wrong? Oh, FFIE, yeah. FFIE. Yeah, that is a big drop though, Mash, for real. That is a big drop, but you're in the $4 calls. It fell down yesterday below that, down to 245. Yeah, that is just an insane drop. It looks like though, Mash, like looking at the daily chart, like as I'm looking, there was that big wick down here back on the 26th of April, and you know the wick extended down to like, you know, $1.90, right around $2, kind of like where we just bounced on FFIE. So, you know, I'm not saying that that's necessarily going to hold up right here, but that is a pretty big area, and we are bouncing up to like 250 now. So kind of interesting now. Maybe we'll start to come back a little bit with this, but yeah, I'm not too confident on it, Mash. Now that you said $4 calls, honestly though, $4 is just, we were at $4 like right around 1 p.m. Central Time yesterday. So yeah, nothing too crazy, honestly. We could get there again if this stock keeps recovering up off of that low, but yeah, like you said, probably rip, I'd say. Yeah, probably a rip. That daily chart on this stock's nuts. Like, it was really flying, and yeah, that thing really blasted back down, and quickly. Yeah, Chewy's been doing great today, hasn't it, J-Deep? And they're saying, I wonder if Chewy will fly up like it did. Those options really like to run up. Yeah, I know they do. Chewy has been insane. Honestly, it looked like it was going to start breaking out. That daily chart was looking pretty good here, I will say. It was looking hot. There it goes. It had that nice breakout there. Yeah, that's really cool. Right around $45 is a little bit of support on Chewy. I mean, it might start consolidating a little bit intraday right here. Yeah, that is a pretty good area of support. So hopefully we see some nice bounces on Chewy here, guys. It had a little bit of a fake out today. I will say that, J-Deep. It really did have a fake out. Yeah, that was a little brutal, I'll say. Unless you caught that really quickly and scalped it, yeah, you probably got caught into this back down, unfortunately. But you would have had to play that breakout, the initial breakout up about 45.50, I think, to be positive on this one. Frequent Needs. I like that name. Frequent Needs. That's pretty funny, but Did you get in on Snap? No, I didn't. Personally, I didn't get in. I'm not somebody who really plays earnings too much anymore. Obviously, I used to play them, a lot back when I was newer and stuff like that. And I think gambling on earnings can be fun every once in a while. Of course, you can definitely catch some big runners. Sometimes you can throw like $100 at the stock and see some big moves. But yeah, right now, I don't know. Snap really fell off, and I didn't catch the downside movement, but hey, I hope you did, Frequent. Man, that was an insane drop. It was pretty hard though. Like it was really 50-50. It was tough to see those ad revenue numbers come in under the expectations though. I just hate that it started moving Meta, Pinterest, Twitter, and all the other social media stocks down as well. That did suck a little bit, but Twitter's coming back up a little bit with earnings here, which is good. Yeah, Mash says appreciate the positivity. Yeah, for sure. I know some people, they can look at a stock like that and just say, hey, I don't like it or whatever. But hey, looking at the chart, that is a pretty good area of support down there, right around $2 even. And who knows, it might end up holding right there. Not too bad. I think it has a chance. At least it's not like yesterday, like up around like 450 or something. That would have been a little bit more brutal. At least today, you're on a really good support. Sean says, how you like NIO puts if we break down below 1950? Let's check that out. Ooh, looking at the daily. Yeah, Sean, I kind of like that. I'm not going to lie. Let's eye it up on like a shorter term time frame here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we're right around some pretty big levels. Yeah, I think that's a huge level, Sean. I agree. If we break below 1950 on Neo, I think we could play that down pretty well today. Yeah, I really think we could. Yeah, Sean, I really like that, actually. Thanks for calling this out. I might actually be eyeing this one up later myself, so good call out there. That's actually a pretty good little move. And it's right on support, so good eye. And I'm glad that we're below $20. I think that might show that we have a good chance to move down lower. Obviously, though, 1950 is a pretty big support. Like I said, really good eye. That's a pretty good setup today, honestly. We'll probably end up bouncing off of this, though, and popping up to around 20 and then just going flat or something, Sean. Watch. That'll probably happen. We probably won't end up breaking out or anything. Hopefully we do, though. Frequent Need says, often with positive earnings, it can be a false and fake outcome, but can the same happen to a bad earnings as well? Since you did mention earnings are 50-50. Yeah, I mean, 100% Frequent. There's definitely been times in the past where obviously the market has been going, like, let's just say the market, for example, has been going, let's say, up, and then, like, let's say the earnings come out and they come out bad, it could still go up because the overall market is still kind of pushing those stocks up. And Frequent, that has happened a lot in the past where a company will come out and they'll miss on EPS and revenue and still go up. That's definitely happened. One thing Frequent is that there's a lot of stuff that matters with earnings. So obviously the earnings numbers right now matter, but then also the outlook matters. So they're always going to be adjusting guidance and everything like that. So you got to look at the guidance, you got to look at outlooks and other aspects like that to kind of see, well, even if they did have positive earnings, well, maybe the outlook shows that the economy is slowing down over the next few months or something like that. So there's always more to it. But I will say, like what you said, it can be a false and fake outcome, and that can happen to any type of earnings report. So yeah, I would say it can happen to anything. Frequent, like I said, it's 50-50. It's very risky to play earnings, and Frequent, I'll tell you what, if you're in the Discord, I challenge you. If you post every single earnings play that you play in there, and then you post your profit, your loss, I will almost bet you $1 million, if that's all you play is earnings, it'll probably end up being pretty bad. So that's why I just don't like to play earnings personally. I've seen so many people blow up their accounts, and even if they win on one or two of them, they might lose then on the next 10 or something. So it's kind of a very streaky with those earnings too. Well, Sean says, yeah, Neo holding for now. We shall see later. Let's see. Yeah, it definitely is holding for now. Right at 1950. I'm gonna keep that on my radar though, Sean. Maybe can I create an alert? Let's create an alert. Crossing 1950. Crossing down. Yeah, crossing down 1950. Expiration time. I'll have it expired today, I guess. Tomorrow. Show pop-up. Notify on app. I already have it. Play a sound. Here we go. Look at this. I didn't know I could do this here. Have it do it for a minute straight. Ah, here we go. Oh, never mind. This is cool though, guys. These alerts on TradingView are awesome. If you guys haven't ever seen this is amazing. Look at this. That's my alert name right here. Neo breakdown. Puts. That's funny. Matt says, I'll test that theory for you, Tom. I play colanders. Yeah, you playing colander spreads, Mash? Because, man, I will say, keep in mind that whenever I said playing earnings, I guess I should have specified, if you're either playing just straight up calls or straight up puts. Just straight up, no spreads, no anything like that. Alls I meant was, hey, Mash, I hope you win on it though. I really do. If you find a good strat like that and it's working, it could be pretty good, honestly. But yeah, looking at, obviously most people are just trading calls and just straight, naked calls and puts on those. But yeah, if you could take advantage of some of that volatility, hey, that could be a really good way to play the earnings, and that'd be smart. But yeah, let's go look at some of these more stocks that are moving today. Let's see. Any big runners, guys? I mean, nothing's really running up again today. More of everything's still moving down. Let's see how AMD's doing. Yeah, AMD, it ran down to 88, and now it's kind of consolidating a little bit. I didn't think it would get much lower than 88, so I don't know. At least we hit the target pretty well, or got really, really close. Yeah, Nvidia, poor Nvidia today, breaking down. Still watching Neo at that support. AMC, what's up with them today? Whoa, AMC is having a pretty big drop today. AMC's actually had a good past few weeks, but this is brutal this morning. What about DraftKings? Oh yeah, DraftKings double topped again at 1460. Forgot about that. I looked at that earlier today, like right at market open. Yeah, that's brutal though. Let's see, Boeing maybe to the downside. Yeah, Boeing honestly still looks like a good downside move to be, guys. I don't know why, but I really feel like Boeing is just looking bearish today. Make it break below this candle, though. Make it break below like 159.56. Or 159.50, you could almost just say, but Boeing. See, the banks are doing better. Yeah, just still flat today. Overall, market's kind of boring today, guys. Nothing really crazy. No crazy movement. The SPY's just been kind of staying within a little bit of a range today. We've been between like 397 and a high of 400 pretty much. Looks like that $400 resistance is going to play out today. I was hoping it didn't, but yeah, it definitely did. I have to put a nice horizontal ray signaling a nice resistance here. Yeah, that's big though. 400. That's a huge psychological level. Hopefully we start to at least see some good momentum. You know, even if it's momentum down, as long as it's momentum, you know, I can usually catch some pretty good plays or find some good movement at least, but I just don't like it when we're all up and down like this. Sean says, I always have 5 to 10 alerts going on TD app with text notifications. It's perfect for at work. Yeah, that's awesome, Sean. I didn't know you could have them sent to your phone on Thinkorswim. Let me see. Let me try something here. Let's see. Alert. Oh, I see. Okay. Awesome. I see that, Sean. That's cool. Do you have to like use the phone number on like your on like the website? It doesn't tell me I can put my phone number in, but yeah, that's awesome. I also like I can make my own custom sound. That is funny. I want to make some nice alerts with like, you know, the Wolf Jordan Belfort from the Wolf of Wall Street, like he's screaming or something. Anytime there's an alert, he's like yes, and he like bangs his mic against his head or something. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, that's cool. I'm having him send it now to my phone too. Cool. I didn't know that, Sean. That's awesome. I've used those alerts a lot on there, but I just didn't know that you could have them sent to the phone. That's cool. I still get them on my phone because the app, it usually has like a little pop-up, but yeah, it literally says text notification, so that's cool. That poor SPY though, guys. I mean, that thing's starting to fall back down again today. That $400 support's holding up on it and starting to look a little bit brutal here, selling off of the downside, but yeah, we're approaching the end of the stream today. If you guys want to check out any other stocks or anything else in the market, just let me know and we can check it out. I'm going to go on CNBC one more time and see if we can see any big news that's been coming out or anything like that. Let's see if there's anything huge here. Russia slashes their key interest rate by 150 basis points. They're doing rate cuts and we're doing rate hikes. That's funny. Oh, they had wow, the Bank of Russia had an emergency hike from 9.5% to 20%. I remember I heard that it was high, but I didn't remember it was 20%. That is insane that they raised rates that much. Wow. Wow, that's huge. Obviously, though, they're having a lot more issues than we are because they have everything else going on, but yeah, they still have Ukraine and, you know, tariffs and all that. Not tariffs, I should say. What do they call those? Sanctions and, you know, weird things like that. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys seriously joining up today. I appreciate it, Mash, Sean, Frequent Needs. Frequent Needs, that your name is hilarious. I love that name. But yeah, I hope you do good on earnings. You know, if you see any good earnings plays or anything like that, definitely let me know, Frequent. They're not my favorite thing to play, but I'm definitely down to look at them and, you know, follow along a little bit. But yeah, thanks J Deep also, Vicky, Keisha, Sal, I'm Fierce, Iranical, Jamie. Yeah, I appreciate you guys joining up. We had some pretty good conversations today. That was funny with Mash earlier, looking at the dollar cost average. That was funny. I kept thinking it was a stock, but that was my funny moment of the day today. Yesterday, I kept getting in trouble for what was her name, Laggard, Christine Laggard or something like that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys seriously as always. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. I appreciate it. Frequent Need says I'll let you know through DM and Discord. Awesome, thanks. Yeah, just let me know. I'll check it out. But yeah, have a good one. I appreciate you guys, and like I said, have a great weekend. Hopefully we can end the week strong here and catch some nice good momentum plays here. Like I said, if you ever have any good plays, post them in the Profits channel. But yeah, have a great weekend, guys.